Hello, everybody. I thought I would make one more video tonight. Um, I thought it would be on accepting yourself the way you are. I know in the world today, many people have an image of what a woman or what a man is supposed to look like, right? A lot of women want to be skinny, look like those models um that are very skinny and slender and have no flab here and there and sadly. But what did they have to go through just to get that way? They go through a lot. And some people even have go to the point of plastic surgery. Some people want their boobs bigger. Some people want their boobs smaller, get a deduction. So weird. And a lot of, and like men, they want a certain look, a certain dress, or a certain cologne to make them smell so good. And they want to be, you know, noticed, like, especially by the females. But why can't you just accept yourself the way you are? That's what makes you special, unique in your own way. Like, everybody thinks that a woman is supposed to be a certain way and a man is supposed to be a certain way. I don't think there is any way somebody's supposed to be. Everybody's uniquely different. And yes, we might find similarities in each other, but we were all meant to be different. We weren't all meant to be the same or and I know a lot of people want to fit in. They want to fit in to like certain groups or they want to fit in to be accepted. Especially in today's society. I remember being a little girl and it's harder also for the children that move around a lot and in each place they expect you to be a certain way. If they're not, they test you. They test you. They're so mean to you until they test you out and then eventually they start, being your friend and accepting that you are different and maybe they like that but they had to do what all their friends were doing so they wouldn't be laughed at or put aside. But I do remember that always moving place to place to place to place, country to state to country, and it wasn't easy. I went to military school. From military school, I went to school in the US and everything was so different. You go to Texas from New York, very different. And they were only a few were friendly and the rest they were just so mean. They were just cruel and mean. They did anything to break you down. But the only thing is that you can't let them. You can't let them break you down because if not, they know they won. And that's one thing they did not win. And eventually they did accept me, but I didn't want to belong. I wanted to be my own person. I wanted to be myself. I wasn't scared to be who I am. Some people were. Some people, if they felt like, oh, they're gonna say something about me if I do this and why? you know, just accept yourself the way you are. And if people don't like you for that, Well, it's their loss. It's not yours. Especially if you're a loving, kind, and generous and good-hearted person. You don't find too many people like that anymore. A lot of people have lost their values. A lot of people have lost their respect. Some of these kids are very cruel. And where does it start from? No one wants to know. It starts from home. Believe it or not, what kids are raised up in is to them is normal. We learn it from home. We don't want to admit it as parents, of course. Sometimes I feel like I could have done some different things and maybe things would have turned out differently, but I did my best. And it didn't help that, the situation wasn't good. One side is verbally abusive and the other side is calm. The other side is loving, the other side don't give a darn. And the kids get confused. So, and then one parent barely swears and the other one's swearing like a banshee. So, kids see what they see. And then as we grow, like some women want to fit in with the co-workers. They want to, they have their little cliques. They got to belong or they got to, think a certain way. And if they don't, oh, like you're not part of the crew or whatever. I don't care. I really don't care. I don't want to belong. I want to be myself. And it's good to be yourself because that makes you stand out uniquely and special. It really does. It's not wrong to be different. In fact, it's unique to be different. It's when you see the same thing over and over and over and over again, the way a woman's supposed to be, the way a man's supposed to be. What about those that stand out differently? I want to be that different. I don't want to be the same. I want to be myself. And I don't want to be part of a big crew or a big clique. I don't. I just want to be by myself. I like friends if they're down to earth and they can talk a decent talk and they're friendly and respectful. Now, if they're rude and disrespectful, I will respect them and I will accept them, but I just won't like get really close like to them. Like if you know what I'm talking about, like being part of the crew, you're telling them all your secrets, your stories and all that stuff. I don't want to, and then you're trying to fit in to please everybody. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Mm-mm. I want to be myself. I want to accept what is right. Like what I mean by that is some people will um defend somebody when they know they did wrong. But I want to be honest and I don't want to be a snitch either, but at the same time, I don't want to be part of it. I don't want to be part of such a thing. I would just keep out of it. That's it. I won't be part of that. And I don't know, it's not wrong, like I said, just to be simple, basic, be yourself, accept yourself for you, accept others for who they are. You know, we have to accept that there are those that are friendly, and there are those that aren't as friendly. And we have to deal with them every day at work, um, in society. Believe me, I walked into some very rude people before. I remember one time I was at the laundromat, and I was just getting out of my car, and this old man goes, "Are you going to get out of the way yet?" And I was like, "What? I'm just opening my door to get my laundry out. Are you done?" And I was like, "Wow." I said, "You're rude." And then I just walked away and I went into the laundromat, and then he pulled out like a banshee. Where? I was like, "How rude can you get?" Very, very bloody rude. And I was like, "Wow, this is America." But no matter where you go, you're gonna find your good people, and you're gonna find your very rude, disrespectful, and crude people. It's just the way it is. But it's how you go about it. Are you willing to accept not to fit in? Are you willing to accept that you want to be yourself? You want to accept you for you. That's it. And you're just simple, basic. You want to be friendly. You don't mind making friends, but to a limitation where you know you're not being part of the clique. You don't want to be part of the clique. Uh-uh. Because that's how gossip starts, and how um they do favoritisms for their coworkers, not just coworkers, but just people in general. And then they leave the others out, and they know it, they feel it. So, and we just accept it. We accept it because we don't care. We don't want to fit in. I don't want to fit in. I don't either. I just want to be me, myself, and I, and accept me for me. And I'm happy about that. And I'm happy just being myself, not having to prove myself to anybody. Trust is hard. The trust part is hard, though. Who can you really trust? Rely on when you need help, or that's why I have trust issues in certain things. Like, if someone said they're going to pick you up and they don't answer you by a certain time, I just go because I don't know if this person's going to come or not because they didn't answer me. So I just take off and I just already go. So I know that I'm not late. Someone told me before, people have let you down a lot, haven't they? And I said, yes, many people have let me down. And that's why it is hard for me. It's hard for me to rely or trust what someone says sometimes. And it's like a protection. Like, I have to protect myself. And I think that's the basic thing, is protecting yourself from, you know, from those who said they promised something, but it doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? So you don't rely in it. You just go, and you keep on continuing doing what you got to do, and you try to rely on yourself instead of others. And that's where my problem lies. I do have problems in that area because through my life, many people have let me down. So I've learned just to trust in myself sometimes. Sometimes when you need help, it's hard for me to trust sometimes. That's why I don't ask for help too much. I struggle a lot with that, but that is one of my weaknesses. And I'm sure others feel the same way about, that too. But accepting yourself for you, that's all you need. That's it. And just to fit in, you don't want to be part of that. You want to be that unique person that stands out uniquely and specially and in a special way, where they're loving, they're kind, they're understanding, they're able to work as a team, but accept that the rest of the group is probably a clique and you're going to be the left out one most of the time. Are you willing to accept that? It doesn't bother me too much. It really doesn't. I'm much happier because it makes me free. It makes me free to myself. And I'm not very good at being part of big groups of people. It makes me feel anxiety. When there's too many people in a room, I can't be there. It's too much. And I become overwhelmed. And yeah. But like I said, this video is about accepting yourself for you, accepting that it's not wrong to be different, accepting that you might not be that beautiful model, or you might not have a certain high of education, or that you see things like everybody else, or you see things differently. Is It's not wrong. Those are good qualities to have because it makes you unique and it makes you special. Because you're not scared to be yourself. You're not scared to stand out and worry about what everybody else thinks about you. You're just willing to just to keep going, doing what you have to do, and then go home or just have time to yourself. Um, Personal time to yourself. Where you're happy to just be you. It's not wrong. Or some people have an issue with their nose or a certain part of their face. Why not accept yourself for you instead of putting all that plastic surgery on you or deducting something from your body? Or some people even go to the point of starving themselves because they want to be slender, they want to be skinny and fit. You want to do that, just exercise. Exercise, walk. Yes, it's and limit like certain calories you take in or something like that, but you can't do that because you're basically hurting your body when you do that. Well, all you got to do is accept yourself for you. There's no shame in that. There's none at all. And I'm sure in the end, it would make you a happier person within yourself because you're not doing what everybody else is doing. You're standing out differently and you're just being yourself. And you are not scared of being yourself. Some people are scared of being themselves because they want to fit in. They want to be part of the clique. They want to be part of the group or stuff like that. Just remember, it's not wrong to be different. It's not wrong to be yourself. In fact, it's awesome to be yourself. And it's not wrong to just want to be Like, have that personal time to yourself instead of going out partying, getting down, getting freaky, whatever. Having that time to yourself, you can reflect on the things that maybe you want to do in your life. You want to advance in your life or make decisions of what you want to do, where you're going, trying to figure yourself out. Because believe it or not, I'm 48 years old and I'm still trying to figure myself out. I never had a chance to figure myself out because my life started with having babies so early where I had to rely on caring for a child instead of my worrying about myself. My worries had to go on raising my children. And I was at like 19. I just turned 19. I know they say that's not a bad age, but I could have been in my 20s or late 20s and then thought about having babies, but it didn't happen that way. And I could have lived my life a little bit. I didn't get a chance to do that. So I just thought this video would be an awesome topic to think about because in society today, many people want to image themselves as not who they are. Like if people want to be skinny and they're doing many things to try to get that way and things that hurt themselves and not realizing they're hurting themselves. And then trying to fit in with a group of people, and some people go to the point of following the crew instead of following what is right here. You know what I'm saying? Of who you are. And you're willing to go to that extent to want to follow everybody else so you could just fit in. Mm-mm. No, no way. So just accept yourself for you. Be yourself. Don't be afraid of it. Uniquely stand yourself out and be different. It's not wrong to be different. It's not wrong to just stand out and just be yourself. It's not. Well, if you guys want to leave a comment about situations that maybe you were in um, where you just wanted to be yourself and maybe you experienced being part of being left out of groups and stuff because you were just yourself. Or you can also leave a comment if you are part of the cliques or part of the groups and stuff, and you can explain why do people try to want to fit in like that instead of wanting to be themselves, and accepting yourself for you. So just maybe you can leave a message and I will definitely reply back. And maybe I can give maybe some good advice. And then at the same time, maybe you can give me some advice. We can talk back and forth to each other and figure each other out. So that was my video for tonight. It was short, it was simple, but I thought this was, a topic to really talk about because it does go on. It goes on in in our work, it goes on in our schools. Children could be very cruel. Even adults could be even crueler. So it's the same, no matter how. So just leave me a comment and I would definitely reply back. Have a nice night. Adios. See you later. Till my next video.